Our major research assignment is on the Legacy of Hope Foundation and the sustainable education and regeneration through traditional knowledge. This is presented by Carter Forrester, Tapchin, and Harmony Grant. We're going to be going over a few key points. So first of all, we're going to ask what the Legacy of Hope Foundation even is, who they are, the services that they offer, and how they do these things. We're also going to talk about how they incorporate Indigenous knowledge in their work and the teachings that they use. Lastly, we're going to cover why any of this should and does matter.
The Legacy of Hope Foundation is a charitable organization which seeks to educate Canadian society about the history of settler colonialism, including the residential school system, the 60 Scoop, and many issues of racism that exist against Indigenous peoples living in what is now known as Canada. Though this organization employs less than 100 people, the work they do is very impactful in relation to how shared histories involving Indigenous peoples are told. Due to the fact that this charitable organization is Indigenous-led, there is more of an understanding about how education has historically and can continue to contribute to harms against Indigenous peoples. Therefore, the work the Legacy of Hope Foundation does is able to be rooted in ethical practices which honor survivors and showcase the importance of traditional knowledge such as oral storytelling. This understanding guides the research, exhibits, work, and educational opportunities that the Legacy of Hope Foundation participate in and offer to others, while also supporting Indigenous well-being and culture. The Legacy of Hope Foundation has stated that their mission is to educate and foster reconciliation and to create just and equal relationships among all people in the land now known as Canada. They accomplish this by teaching about the true history of residential schools, the 60 Scoop, and injustices Indigenous peoples endure, by bringing to light the varied and rich contributions to the foundation of this country that Indigenous peoples made and continue to make.
So, the Learning Hope Foundation provides a unique array of resources, including exhibitions, workshops, and research reports. They believe that achieving reconciliation requires consistent, positive, and informed actions from all parties. For the workshops, these include testimonies from survivors of residential schools, community conversations, and cultural reclamation to also support Indigenous knowledge and reclamation. As for the research, the Legacy of Hope Foundation publishes research reports in regards to their findings. These papers are based on Indigenous methodological approaches and incorporates traditional knowledge bases such as oral storytelling. Lastly, for the exhibits, these offer mobile exhibits, which discuss history, including residential schools, but also focuses on specific people's roles and teachings to highlight Indigenous knowledge and understandings of the world.
Now, why did we pick Legacy of Hope Foundation, and why does it stand out to us? It stands out to Carter because the Legacy of Hope Foundation treats history as something that's living and something that's not static. Their exhibits, their research, and their archival work function like a museum that prioritizes truth-telling and community voice. They don't just display artifacts from a distance, but they center the survivor stories and the Indigenous knowledge systems. It stands out to me, Tapchin, because of how intentionally they use media. Their videos, their podcasts, and the digital storytelling, they use it to reach people where they already are. LHF understands that media shapes public understanding, and so they use it to amplify authentic Indigenous voices and challenge colonial narratives. It stands out to Harmony because the counseling and the healing aspect is woven into everything that they do. Their workshops include survivor testimonies, community conversations, and cultural reclamation, all of which support emotional, spiritual, and intergenerational healing.
A seven-generation understanding of the world refers to acting in ways that will be sustainable for future generations, as well as sustainable to generations that have passed. It is important that these things our ancestors have enjoyed, we are able to enjoy, and future generations are able to enjoy. This is not only important in referring to things such as the land, but also the connections to these generations that the use of them bring to individuals. The Legacy of Hope Foundation has discussed the disruptions and harms that the relationships they have with colonial history has brought. The values, organizations, and existence of colonial society does not support a seven-generation understanding of living on the land, nor Indigenous ways of knowing. Therefore, the Legacy of Hope Foundation has discussed how their support for initiatives such as the Sacred Connections and Healing Hearts Initiative can begin to allow for healing that is based in traditional knowledge. In particular, the research that is conducted by the Legacy of Hope Foundation is more sustainable to Indigenous ways of knowing because it is rooted in traditional knowledge such as oral histories and relationship to land. The educational opportunities this organization provides are rooted in traditional teachings, such as looking to teach mainstream society through the voices of previous generations organizations who have firsthand experienced the harms of colonial institutions such as residential schools to allow individuals to begin to heal from intergenerational trauma and resist against colonial narratives that have led to these harms. This is done so that Indigenous knowledge is respected, so that all beings and the earth are respected, so future generations can live a good life.
The Legacy of Hope Foundation is aware of the barrier that colonial organizations and education present to keeping a balance of these quadrants, in particular, the spiritual quadrant, seen in yellow. It is of importance that these 4 quadrants are balanced so a person can live in a good way. Further, if one is not balanced, the others will experience harm as well. This is done through reconnecting the knowledge and teachings that have been previously mentioned, as well as the workshops working to return Indigenous peoples to their traditional sacred roles, to allow for healing in the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical quadrants of the being.
The 7 sacred teachings teach us how to live a good life. These teachings, love, respect, bravery, truth, honesty, humility, and wisdom, are foundational across many Indigenous nations. What's important is that LHF doesn't just reference these teachings, but they embed them into their programs, workshops, and educational materials. For example, love and respect show up in how they honor survivor stories. Bravery is reflected in the courage that it takes for the communities to share these painful stories. Truth and honesty guide their commitment to teaching the real impacts of residential schools. Humility reminds us to listen and learn, especially as non-Indigenous people engaging with this history. And wisdom is seen in how they uplift traditional knowledge to support the future generations. These teachings help LHF create learning environments that are not only informative, but also emotionally safe, culturally grounded, and focus on collective healing. Two-eyed seeing is a guiding principle that encourages us to look at the world through both Indigenous and Western perspectives, not blending them, but valuing each equally. LHF uses this approach to navigate colonial institutions like schools, museums, and government systems while still centering Indigenous voices. Through Two-Eyed Seeing, they combine Western research methods with Indigenous storytelling, oral histories, and community knowledge. This allows them to work effectively within mainstream systems without losing cultural integrity. It also challenges the idea that one knowledge system should dominate the other. For us as learners, Two-Eyed Seeing is a reminder that reconciliation requires collaboration, respect, and the willingness to hold multiple truths at once. LHF models how organizations can use this approach to create more balanced, ethical, and inclusive educational spaces.
So why does this matter? The Legacy of Hope Foundation can represent an Indigenous-led organization which exists and operates through the use of Indigenous knowledge. Through examining what they do and why they do this, we can better understand what this knowledge is, as well as how it can exist in spaces that may involve colonial society. This could help colonial organizations learn how to safely and ethically, more importantly, work within spaces where Indigenous knowledge is present. The Legacy of Hope Foundation shows how to deal with survivor stories and hard topics such as residential schools, which have often been used to focus on only the negative when it comes to Indigenous peoples.
Thank you for watching. Here are our references, and we can go into the discussion questions.